As the community manager at Morgan, sports science researcher, CEO of a trampoline club, and someone who does quite a lot of volunteering in the deaf community, I use time blocking to manage my day and my week and my month. But time blocking didn't help until I learned some things first. So in this video, I'll share how I decide when to time block a task, how I manage my busy calendar view, and what I do when things inevitably don't go to plan. To start with, so we're all talking about the same thing, when I say time blocking, I'm talking about putting aside an amount of time for a specific thing in your diary or calendar. This could be 1 hour for lunch, or 2 hours for work, maybe 4 hours for an event, and then an hour travel before and an hour travel after for driving. Essentially, intentionally blocking time on your calendar to see if you have time to do everything. Related ideas like day or week theming is where you pick a theme for the day or the week, say a life admin day or a marketing week. Tasks and events put in those days or weeks relating specifically to the theme. Then there is task batching, where you might batch lots of similar tasks together. But both day-week theming and task batching rely on your ability to see how much time the tasks and events will take, which is where time blocking is crucial. Now, if you're anything like me, you have a list of things that you want to get done. Either a written list of things to do, or a growing list in a task app or a notes app, or like when I was at university, a list of things going around and around in your head. I remember when I was doing my master's degree at university, my anatomy and physiology essay was due on a Monday at 11 AM in the morning, and I only had a few days to get more research done for my literature review. Unfortunately, every 2 weeks there was a lab practical on Friday, and I wasn't time blocking at this point, and forgot. So the research didn't get done after lunch. Moved forward to the evening, after dinner, and my flatmates were being, well, the students that didn't have an essay due, so they had a party in the house where I was going to do the research work. Now, I did know about the party beforehand, but I hadn't put it on my calendar because I wasn't going. I did manage to cram the research in over the weekend, but it was rushed and pretty stressful. Just because the time was free for me didn't mean it was the best time for me to be doing that work. So I started time blocking on my calendar, but learned that you can't just put a task in any free space. Until you become familiar with how long something will take, you might want to overestimate. The research I thought that would take a couple of hours actually took far longer. And although my calendar was free, my flat's calendar wasn't. Seeing co-worker meetings and vacation times, family events, volunteer availability, and school breaks for coaching trampoline are all available on my calendar now to check which free spot is the best time. So some questions that I ask myself when I'm time blocking: do I have a clear view of what is coming up and what time is busy? Do I have time on my calendar for all the important tasks and events? Do I look at my plan on the day to stay on track, and can I achieve this ideal time-blocked plan? Time blocking an ideal plan is great, but I think we all know life doesn't always go to plan. If we take a closer look at time blocks on digital calendars, they could be done in a few different ways. At a high level, we could put something broad like work, maybe in the all-day section, still timed, but days. At a medium level, we could be a little bit more specific and say video. It could be in the all-day section, or more likely a few-hour blocks. But at a deeper level, we can use an action beforehand like write video script. These would probably be tasks for a shorter, focused period of time. The word write is an action, so we know what we are going to do. Record video, take out rubbish, call sports facility. There is an action at the start of the name. For longer tasks split into multiple sessions, I would add the action so I know what I'm going to do in that specific session. I'm using Morgan for this because each task can have multiple sessions with unique names, letting me add different action words. All digital calendars let you add events which could be used at any of these levels, high, medium, or low. Some calendars or task apps let you add tasks, which could be any of these levels as well, but with the added benefit of being tickable. I use Morgan because I get the option to use both events and tasks on my calendar in my time-blocked plan, but if you block off 2 hours with an event, say doing emails, you might finish early. This gives you some free time, which could be shown by adjusting the event length, or if it is a task, completing the task hiding it from my view. And that's personally my preference, I use tasks. But either way, it's a visual way to see if the ideal plan is on track or not. But something I struggled with to start with when planning my day or week like this was working out what to do when. Like, when do I put it? When do I reply to emails? When do I record videos, take out rubbish, etc.? For this, I use 2 time blocking tricks and a question. What makes this task difficult? Once I know what makes a task difficult, I can put in the task at a time where it's easier. For example, recording a video is difficult if I haven't scripted it, but it's also difficult in the evenings because other people are asleep, so I can't be too loud and I can't use the sunlight. What makes taking out the rubbish difficult? Well, if I do it in the morning, the bins get in the way of the cars, and if there is more to go into the bins, it's also further away from the door, which is just an inconvenience. Time blocking lets me put these tasks at a time of day that makes the task easier. These are deep level time blocks. The first trick I use is to have a medium level block in the all day section, like a project. I can see how long I have left for that project, but also what other projects I should be working on. I love using Morgan for this, as I can turn these levels on and off with the calendar set hotkeys. Planning medium level projects? Go to that calendar set. Doing deep work? Go to that calendar set. Want to see both levels at the same time? Go to that calendar set. Seeing my medium level focus helps me work out when the deep level tasks need to be done. And the second trick helps me when things just don't go to plan. You might be wondering, well, what about the ideal time block plan when life gets in the way? Because it inevitably will do. Well, I use 2 different layers in my calendar. The top layer is where the tasks and events live. This is my ideal plan with breaks and everything else mapped out quite nicely. Then I have the bottom layer where I have Morgan frames. A frame is special because you can show events and tasks on top, giving you 2 layers, but also because you can filter the frame for specific tasks. The high-level time-blocked plan, not record video task or time blocking project, but Morgan work area. This is my backup plan. When something conflicts with a task or an event, I can see the available time in the future to reschedule the Morgan area. Where is the next Morgan work frame? But something I like about Morgan is that it makes these suggestions for me. I can then agree and reschedule the task as soon as possible, or in the suggested time slot using the frame, the high-level frame filters, or I can just disagree and say, you know what, I'm going to do that myself. It's like having a virtual assistant asking me questions about my day. Yes, do that for me, or you know what, I will sort that out myself, thanks for helping. 1-layer time blocking is great to have an ideal plan, but 2-layer time blocking helps me with the high-level backup plan. When time blocking my week, I can look at the background layer to manually plan my tasks, but Morgan creates those suggestions for me, so I actually use the AI planner. I can ignore tasks, change how long tasks might take, manually schedule tasks that might be flagged as they are due soon, or alter the settings depending on the week. Maybe adding some breaks because I'm not feeling up for much this week. But the most important lesson I've learned time blocking is that just because you have a slot on your calendar to do something doesn't mean you have to do it right then. Although my real personal calendar is blocked with no gaps, some tasks in the morning don't get done until the evening, some just don't get done at all and are suggested the next day. Although I am a Morgan Power user, I use other apps as well, like Obsidian and ClickUp and Notion and Google Tasks for collaboration and for quick capture. And Morgan recently released the Apple Reminders integration, which we discuss more about in this video over here.